22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Black Westchester Magazine presents People Before Politics Radio every Sunday 6 to 8 on InTheMixRadio.com. I am your host, A.J. Woodson. Damon K. Jones, Black by Popular Demand, still on hiatus, doing this thing. Cynthia King Jones out there fighting the power. Shout out to Brenda L. Crump, always holding us down. We got the lovely Lorraine Lopez in the building, and we got Ricky Maxwell in the building.
It's not working.
I got you now, and we got them in the building. I want to address a couple of things real quick before we start the show. So last week, two things. And I do this a lot of times when Damon's, or Bob's on the show, and I had them keep talking. My brother got to run to the bathroom, so I ran to the bathroom. But I told everybody to keep talking. So the discussion was London Reyes, who won, and I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. I had scheduled him. We had a conversation about him coming on the show, and he told me he would get back to me. I had penciled him in. And he never got back to me, but I penciled in him. So he never did confirm his appearance on the show. So the fact that anything that I said about him not showing up, that was on a misunderstanding, lost in translation. You know what I'm saying? Brother working on the newspaper and stuff, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things go through. So I had to go back through my notes. So we talked yesterday, and he was disturbed by a couple of comments that was made by Lorraine Lopez and Ricky Maxwell. So I told him we would deal with all of that in the beginning of the show. So one of the comments were the fact that I now correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me because I don't want to misquote you. Did you say that he had confirmed? Did you say that on the air last week, that he had confirmed with you, or you had confirmed?
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, so that's what I went on, and I was like, well, he confirmed, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, yo, he didn't show up. So he told me that he had never confirmed. He basically called you a liar. He said, would you agree, and this is his exact words, would you agree that if she can't show you anywhere where I confirm that she's a liar? I said, I'm not agreeing on anything.
I don't take
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo,
liar.
I said, I'm not agreeing on anything. So he said, well, you agree that she's dishonest? I said, I'm not agreeing on any of that. I said, what I will do is I will address it at the beginning of the show. Now, like I said, the scheduling part in the beginning was on me. So he did never schedule to confirm. He never confirmed because he was doing his signatures, and they was, he was out doing the signatures.
He called us corrupt too. He said corrupt.
Well, we're gonna deal with that on after I deal with this. I have something to say about all that too. So secondly, I don't know. He said, and I don't want to misquote him either, but he said something along the lines of, I guess there was a problem with you and Brian being real and speaking truth to power, and people don't like him because he will write what nobody else will write. I kind of take offense to that because Black Westchester does that every day, all day. But and I guess he said something. He went after, who did he go after? Mike? Was it Mike Cater? He went after, and I think y'all had a problem after that, or something. I don't remember what. I don't know
what you're talking
know
about.
what you
but
and Brian.
Since he's so full of
Brian,
shit, he probably said a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, the you and Brian situation, I didn't know what. I didn't know what happened with you and Brian. So, I know you addressed that.
Between me and Brian.
Okay, so that's fair. So he brought that up anyway. So I've cleared up the part that I had to clear up. He basically, I don't know if there's a problem with the two of y'all, but I say this online, I say this on air. All of my co-hosts and my host, Damon K. Jones, I stand behind everything that has to do with People Before Politics and Black Westchester Magazine. Am I perfect as a man? No. Will I make mistakes and misquote people in the future at some point? Probably. Will I report on something with the facts that I know and find out later that they are possibly not true or not the full story? Possibly. But I'll always be man enough to stand to it. But I stand by everybody. I also encourage, even though the comments of all my co-hosts and all my guests are their comments and their comments alone, I stand by and encourage them to speak. I encourage them to share what they feel, and I encourage them, to bring it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not. There won't be no division. People have tried to cause division between me and Damon, us and Cynthia, and several other situations. That's not happening. It don't go down like that. If they're on this show, I stand by them. I defend, and I told people, I've told people, they said, well, if I say this, I don't want if they come after me. If a guest says something on the show and they speak about a politician, and that politician goes after them, I will defend that guest if they were right. And they said it, and the reason you're going after them is because they were on the show. I will stand by that for always. So I just want to get that out the way. Now, the second thing he had to say, well, Lorraine, anything I said that you want to comment on as far as London is concerned?
Are you done with the London situation?
No. Anything you want to say? I'm moving on to Maxwell next, so I just wanted to give you a chance to comment on where you the things that had to do with you.
All right. First of all, you had told me that you had scheduled them.
Right.
So
and I did.
I wrote them. I text them for their email address. They text me right back. Mm-hmm. And said, thank you for requesting the email, and they gave me the email. Then I immediately sent them a letter telling them that he was expected. And I sent you, and I CC'd you with that he was expected on last week, and that we were confirming, and so on and so on. They've got the letter. They've read the letter. So the part about confirming, you're right about that, because see, I had sent out so many emails, but the one that actually confirmed, the only one that had not the only one, but the one that had the courtesy,
Carmen,
was not only Carmen, but Christopher Johnson as well. Everyone else confirmed, and everyone else thanked and said they were going to be there, but he chose to ignore the letter. Not that he didn't respond and talking about, show me where it says that I responded. No, you chose to ignore us. You got the letter. You know what? The same way you pick up the phone and you talk all that crap that you talked, you could have picked up the phone and said, I'm not going to be able to be there. But he couldn't do that. Now, as far as calling me a liar, Homeboy is the one that did not show up to the Westchester County Fair Campaign Practice Committee against Virginia Perez when she filed a couple of complaints about her, and he was charged with violations for being unfair, for being a liar. They caught him on 2 lies, and they charged him with violations on that. Now, if he want to speak about liars, he could start speaking about that. Speak the truth, boy. What else do you want to? What else do you want me to talk about? Because I can go. I mean, and if you want to start with me, I got a whole Pandora's box I can open on that man. A whole Pandora's box I can open on that man.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, let's not even waste time because he's not going to win anyways.
Well, okay, hold on, right there.
Okay.
I invited him to come, but he said he wasn't able to make it.
Well,
today.
you know what? That's what.
Somebody
Wait.
Somebody just called in.
Yeah,
I want to see if it's
I know
him.
who it is. No, it's not him. But London, the number is 718-705-4959. I know you're listening.
That was the
Call
other,
in.
That was the other thing too. I did have I thought about a lot of things that was said. So he said he wasn't.
I stand by everything I said.
He wasn't physically listening to the show. He got a call. I also say if anybody else does that and they heard somebody say something, go listen to the show. They're archived on Black Westchester. And when you do come, make sure that you know what you're talking about. I'm not saying he didn't, but I get it's a pet peeve of mine when people tell me.
Oh man, the guy hasn't even been around. All he does is call up people that got something negative to say about him. That's all he got. I mean, he got all that mouth. Why don't he call up and say something positive?
Who is this?
Come on now,
who
show
this
up.
Calling? Who is this?
That's Ben from Yonkers Voice, I bet.
Okay, I was wondering. Caller, this is People Before Politics. Please state your name and your purpose for calling.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, this is Ru Ross.
That's
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, AJ? Actually, London Race called you by name, called Lorraine by name, and called me by name, saying that we are corrupt, and he called me and he said that I am controlled. Now, I don't understand why you are trying to justify him. He actually alleged that you were corrupt. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
I'm about to deal with that in a minute. I was only dealing with the point of the scheduling part, and that was I'm just being a man about that. But I am going to deal with. I am totally going to deal with the whole Facebook comment though.
But
I was just dealing with things one at a time. Huh?
Okay. Since
Tell
I'm
us
on the
about
phone
Brian.
now. Okay, since I'm on the phone now, that was the allegation that he made. I have the snapshots of the allegation that he made.
Yeah, someone
now
sent it to me too.
Now let's not forget that even though he called me corrupt and controlled, he didn't say who I was controlled by. Okay, and let's not forget that when London was, decided to announce that he was running, I was the one that went to his event at School 23, if I'm not mistaken, which he was very thankful because I was the only media that showed up, not News 12, not anybody else. When he had his event at Saunders High School, we were the one who were there to support him and promote and broadcast. When he had his fundraiser, I was the only one who showed up there, not News 12, not LOHUD, no one. But
And
somehow
he threw you under the bus.
Yeah, but somehow I was the one that was thrown up under the bus and called corrupt. Not those that had voiced against him, like LOHUD. When LOHUD put the article out in regards to Virginia Perez, I was the one who sent him the article when he was on his way to Albany, and he was very thankful and called me back, and I told him about what was going on, and I gave him an opportunity to talk to me about it. He refused. Every time I invited Virginia Perez to one of my interviews, I also extended that invitation to London Race. He was the one who declined. Virginia never declined. And let's not forget that I have no horse in this race. I sponsor no one. I give everyone the same opportunity to speak. Better yet, let me correct myself. The only horse I have in this race is the people of Yonkers. My objective the objective of Yonkers Voice is to tell the people of Yonkers who is running, what the platform is, and it's up to the people to decide who they're going to vote. I'm very clear with every single candidate that I don't support them, I don't promote them, and I don't sponsor them. I might do an advertiser for them if they pay it for it. But that is paid by their own friends, not by me, and that's not something that I do it for them. I do it because we need to generate income to pay for our expense.
Absolutely.
And Okay, and Mr. London knows this, and this is no different than Westchester Magazine. The fact that I buy a promotion on your page does not mean that you stand behind me in whatever I say.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just purchasing a spot. So I think it was very unfair from London Rays to say that I'm controlled, I'm corrupt, and so are you, AJ, as far as he alleged, and Lorraine, but did not sustain his allegations.
Absolutely. Let me stop right there. And I wanted to give Mr. Maxwell a chance to talk, because the second part of his of our conversation was that he sent letters out to all the unions looking for their endorsement, and he never once had scheduled an appointment. And he was like, and anybody who says he did, asked them to show me where he wrote that he would be there, that he confirmed that he'd be there, and he told me that he guarantees you will not be able to do that.
Because he doesn't answer anyone.
Well,
Yeah.
let
Now,
me.
Wait.
Hold
Let me let Mr. Maxwell speak to that. Go ahead.
Well, let me first say, I don't know this man. I never met this man. I have nothing personal against this man. I wish him well. From my understanding, from what I was told, and by my president, Brooke Jones, and Mr. Damon K. Jones, he did ask for a meeting. The meeting time and place was set up. My board members of Westchester Correctional Association were there, and Damon Jones, and he did not show up. So if he's saying that he did not make a meeting or agree to a meeting, he's basically calling Damon K. Jones a liar.
Well, I asked Damon to call the show, and if he doesn't, Damon will address that on his own.
Because I know Damon and Brooke. Damon got the meeting, told us it was prior. So, like I said, it's nothing personal. I don't know the young man or whatever he is, but basically, if you're saying you did not do that, you're basically calling Damon K. Jones a liar, and I leave it at that.
Now, secondly,
Now,
I wanted to deal with, and I'm trying to pull up the
Stay on the
screenshot
phone,
right
Ben.
now.
Stay on the phone.
I'm trying to pull up the
Yeah,
screenshot
AJ
now. Wait. I'm trying
AJ.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Does the fact that maybe a mistake was made, let's just say for sake of arguments, that he's right. He never told you that he was going to show. So does the fact that maybe a mistake was done in regard to schedule, does that makes you a corrupt person?
Well, I'm about to deal with that now. Trust me, one thing at a time.
Ru Ross is really upset about this corruption.
Yeah, he don't.
One thing at a time.
Well, he needs to, the same way he says, prove to me that I sent the letter. Prove to me that I'm corrupt.
But listen,
because
once
when
you
I was
use-
giving him funding for his organization, when he was coming to me kissing my ass, I wasn't corrupt. Now was I?
Using that word corrupt is very, very.
I can't find the screenshot.
I was looking for
You
it,
got to be
too.
careful when you use that word corrupt. I mean, maybe a better choice of words might have been possible. But
Do you have my phone number? Do you, Ru, do you have my phone number, my cell number?
Yes, I have your phone number.
Screenshot me that, the comment he made.
I will screenshot.
I mean, text it to me. I mean, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I will send it to you. But it's very awkward that the man who has thanked me for being the only one there at his events, for supporting him and criticizing News 12 and Low HUD for putting things out that are not true, than to come around and call me corrupt in a public forum. And I was the only one, and I'm going back to what he said. And we have videos that shows that.
So why is he upset with you? Why is he upset with you then?
I have no idea. Maybe Mr. Reyes graduated from Trump University. That if
Trump
you are
University.
not, if you're not supporting him or if you're not broadcasting in favor to him, you are fake news.
Right.
Okay.
But we wasn't really saying anything negative last week.
I kind of did.
Oh, okay.
I kind of did, but I stand by everything I said.
I can't speak for Ms.
I
Lopez.
stand by it.
Well, I don't speak for Miss Lorraine either, but I can tell you, I challenge anyone. I can challenge Mr. London to show me one negative article that I or Yonkers Voice ever put out against him. Never. On the contrary, I was invited by Virginia Perez to go to a certain events. I didn't. I was invited by Mike Cater to go to fundraisers, his fundraiser. I didn't. I was invited by London Race to go to his fundraiser. I did. I was invited by London Race to go to his event at School 23. I did. I was invited by London Race to go to Saunders High School by his event. I did. So, but somehow, I am the corrupt one.
Well, I got you. I want to speak to this, but I want to see it because I don't know if he took it down. Yeah. And
he did took it down. Well, actually,
he didn't take it down. Somebody else did.
Wait a minute. Actually, the article was taken down, and the reason why it was taken down was because I spoke personally with Brian Harold about the article. He told me that.
Wait, Brian wrote something too?
It was in Brian's page. It was his article.
Brian was the one who put the topic out, that the truth finally comes out. And on that topic, there was a whole bunch of comments. After all that, yesterday at around 9 or 10 o'clock,
let me be clear. Are you saying that Brian posted the comment that that London made about us being corrupt?
That is correct. The topic was created by Brian Harold.
All right, wait, stop. Brian Harrod, or Harold, I think that's your name. You know me as well. You know me on Facebook. We've spoke several times. I'm going to give you the opportunity. I'm going to give you the opportunity to reach out to me, and explain why you putting this stuff out with my name on it.
Right. If that's the case.
No.
Wait. Let Russ explain this.
Let me correct. Brian Harrod did not put your name out. Oh. He did not tag you. He only tagged me. Okay. He put the topic was the truth finally comes out, and on that topic there was a sequence of comments where London Race and other people comment. London was the one that put the comment that you, me, and Lorraine were corrupt. And I have the snapshot, and I will send you the snapshot. Okay. Not Ryan.
I think I found it. I'll send it to you.
Somebody send it to me right now because I need to address it.
Yeah. And I spoke to Brian yesterday at around 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, somewhere around that time, about the article. And I said, it's very unfair of you to put this particular topic, and you tagged me, and then London is going that calling me corrupt and this and that, but is not taking in consideration a whole bunch of things. That I was the only one that did this and that. And Brian said, yes, you are right, Ben.
I need two things. One, I have a guest here, and I need to get him on, and I have other people coming on today. And this is not worth taking up so much time of the show. One, two.
Well, calling you corrupt is. Calling you corrupt.
No. I need the screenshot. I will address that, and then we'll move on with the rest of the show. Yeah. And I will handle everybody who needs to be handled individually.
Oh, AJ will handle
outside of the show.
It will be handled,
and I will deal with all that. But I need the screenshot right now.
I'm sending it to you right now.
I want to end this portion of the show. We have a city council, Yonkers city councilman in the house.
Yes.
He's running for county legislator.
Yes.
His name is Christopher Johnson. He's a friend of the show. He's been here before.
Mr. Johnson.
Give him props.
Welcome.
Yes.
All right, Christopher Johnson, the honorable Christopher Johnson in the house.
We got big dog Christopher Johnson here.
That's right.
So
cleaning up Ashburn Avenue.
Gotta look good. Y'all record this.
Yeah.
Is that mine?
All right.
I got the screenshot.
So,
I'm going to be dealing with that later. Yes, sir.
Okay. At the end result is then Brian Harrod, understood that he went over the border, by calling us corrupt, and he decided to remove the topic.
Okay.
That's why if you go there today, you will see that the topic is no longer available.
Okay.
Brian took it off.
Thank you. I'm going to be dealing with everybody individually.
Yes, you
I thank you for
I
calling.
owe you a phone call. I know I do.
Oh, okay. Christopher said he owes you a phone call.
You still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Christopher Johnson said he owes you a phone call.
Yes. We need to schedule him up.
Absolutely.
But again, Christopher knows, and I also told him very clearly, we will interview everyone that is running, but we will not support, endorse, or anything. Our only purpose is to let the people of Yonkers know who's running and what the platform is. And it's up to the people of Yonkers to vote for whoever they decide is the best person.
Okay. I thank you for calling. I am going to end this portion and give Christopher Johnson his time. We will follow up on all of this, and everything will be taken care of. And anybody who doesn't work out with, they will feel my wrath. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
So thank you for calling and shedding some light on the situation. Chris.
Yes, sir.
So, city councilman, now you are going to take the leap to county legislator.
That's the goal.
All right.
And
Absolutely.
what is that? That's Ken's seat, or no? That's the other seat.
Yeah, that's
Currently
Ken's
held-
seat.
Currently held by Ken Jenkins.
Oh.
Who is not rerunning? He is running for county executive.
Correct.
Yes. So
16th district, right?
16th County
Thanks
District. It's
for
all-
Lorraine, because she give me all that district stuff. I just say what it is. She tell me the district and everything. So
It's one of two districts completely held within Yonkers. We have two other seats, but one of them goes into Bronxville and the other one goes into Tuckahoe. So,
Okay.
But 16 and 17 all in Yonkers, and this one is 16.
okay. So what? Why now? Why?
Well, you know, with Ken, with Legislator Jenkins trying to take a move up, it only makes sense with an open seat to actually try and take this shot. It would be, I think it would be messed up if I waited another 2 years until my term finished out and then there was somebody in the seat,
Right.
and then I would be challenging them. You don't want to challenge someone who you believe is doing good work,
Right.
who you believe has the community at the forefront of whatever they're trying to do. You don't want to take that challenge. So since I believe I'm already doing that work and there's a seat open, then I want to take that chance. Now, actually, that's an interesting first question, because I've heard some people mention to me, well, you have 2 years left on your term, so why don't you stick it out and do what you're supposed to do? You ran for a 4-year term, so you should stay for 4 years before
Finish
moving
what
on.
you started,
Right,
yeah.
and so that's an interesting concept, but I would ask why no one said that to Cory Booker
Yep.
when he ran for U.S. Senate.
And a lot of others.
Astorino?
Why nobody said that to Rob Astorino? Well, no,
went for
Rob gave
governor?
up his seat.
No,
When you ran for governor? You're right.
When he ran for
Nobody
governor.
said that to Barack Obama when he ran for president of the United States. Or a matter of fact, someone who held this seat, Andrea Stewart Cousins,
Andrea.
who was in the county ledge seat and ran for state senate while she was in the seat twice. So the
And they
reality
all
is,
won?
and all the people I mentioned was successful.
That's a
Of
lucky.
course.
That's a lucky
Of
charm,
course.
isn't it?
Why would
I think
wouldn't
you
tell
put those
anybody
names.
else?
You put those names out there purposely, right?
You know. I mean,
We got you. We
I
got
want to
you.
add my name to the list.
Just saying.
And so, if I'm already doing the work, and a lot of the work that I'm doing right now translates, I think, well to the county level and to county government, and so it just makes sense to take that step.
Okay. Now, got to deal with. I've asked you this question before.
Absolutely.
And I've heard it since then again.
Of course. Every time I run, that's about it.
That you're in the pocket of Andrea Stewart Cousins.
In her
that you're
pocket.
holding 2 seats. You work for the city and you work for her.
Mm-hmm.
And, your loyalty is not to the city, your loyalty is to her. And all of those things. Speak to that again.
So I was Senator Stewart Cousins' deputy chief of staff back in 2010 and 2011.
Okay.
I ran for city council in 2011. And obviously the work that I did in her office was my springboard, right? A lot of the community organizations and the relationships that I had with them and with individuals was through my work in her office. So it would be silly of me to deny that or to say that I didn't use that, that's not part of who I am. But the reality is that once I took office, that became my primary focus. My salary is public. The city of Yonkers, the taxpayers of Yonkers pay me more than Senator Stewart Cousins does, and so they come first, if for no other reason because of that. But the reality is that I take this job seriously, and I can point to really just one example of where the senator's vote and my vote did not align. There was a project in Trevor Park that was proposed to put a parking lot under Trevor Park, and the owner of the property adjacent to Trevor Park wanted to alienate some parkland, and so the council had to introduce a resolution to go up to the state for them to give us the opportunity to alienate that parkland. Well, I said, this doesn't seem right. At the very least, the timing on this is bad. It might be a good idea in the future, but it's not a good idea right now. So it passed the council 6-0-1. I was the one. I abstained. It went up to state government, and it passed unanimously, both houses, the assembly and the state. And that was 3 years ago, and we've done nothing since then with this property. So my foresight was right, that the timing was wrong on it, and that's why I stayed out of it. But I'm literally the only person in the state of New York that had a vote on that project that didn't vote for it.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Now, it would be easy to say that if you knew it was going to pass anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be like,
That's
oh,
true.
just abstain. But you knew it was going to pass anyway, so
That's true,
your
but-
abstaining doesn't do anything to stop it.
But you know what? When you're when the property is in your district, every developer, every constituent, every person involved in the project looks and says, "Oh shoot, the council person, the representative from the district doesn't support this
Probably
project."
R.J. Wallace.
Like, what does that mean?
Right.
You know, so my vote was special with regard to that project, and so me staying out of it actually held weight and was, you know, the developer themselves, like, they held meetings with me, and I said, I don't think the timing is right on this.
Okay.
And so, you know, I did the right thing, and I'll continue to push. And, you know, the senator and I aren't going to agree on everything, but the reality is, since I came through her office, I worked for her because I thought she had great ideas, great ideals.
I told you who it
and
was.
so it only makes sense that most times we'll line up with one another.
Kaboom! Guess who stepped up in the room?
I know. I see my friend
Councilman
over from Mount
Andre
Vernon.
Wallace is
How
in the
you
building.
doing, man?
Is in the building.
Yes.
Good, thank
So
you.
we're here grilling Chris on Mr. Johnson on why people should vote. Yeah, that's why people should vote for you. Now there's Lorraine is my backup for Yonkers. There's how many people running for the seat?
4.
Okay,
All registered Democrats.
name-
It's going to be a primary in September. It's,
name the 4 for me again.
One is
Carmen
right
Gomez
here.
Goldberg, Christopher Johnson, Simma Brandon, and your girlfriend that was here the other day.
My girlfriend.
Dag, yo, it's like
What's her
that,
name?
AJ?
What's her
Shoot. I'm going to still hang
Somebody
out.
didn't tell me. Though.
I'm going to still hang out, though.
What's her name?
Ooh.
The one that was here.
I know her name. It's Nicole
Can you
Benjamin.
tell Nicole
Nicole
Benjamin?
Benjamin.
Oh, my
Sorry,
homegirl.
Nicole.
Okay,
See,
normally
there
I'm
you
cool.
go. I
Normally
told
I
you that
wouldn't
was
say
your
it, but you
girl.
know.
Oh, yeah.
She used to work for me, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I
So
heard
so
about
those are the 4. Without asking you to throw shade on the other 3.
You just speak truth to power.
Highlight yourself.
Why are you the one that the residents in your district in Yonkers should vote for in September?
So we've got a couple things that, you know, we want to highlight when I become a county legislator. But I'll speak to some of the stuff that I've done as a councilman that really puts me at the forefront, I believe. So number one, my biggest thing while sitting on the council has been education. I've been fighting and pushing to make sure that education funding increases, not just from the state, but also from the city. I've made trips to Albany, talked to our legislators from throughout the state in different cities, counties, districts, and just letting them know the importance of our education system. And a lot of the ones that I talk to know that education is the key, and so trying to push more money down from Albany. And our delegation's done a good job at sending some funding back, but Albany needs to do better. And then trying to make sure that my colleagues on the council put more money into our education system. I haven't been as successful at that portion for a host of different reasons. One being they don't have kids in public schools, so they don't really care.
Right.
But
I always say that though, but you know what? I say this in Mount Vernon. People are like, I ain't got kids in the school. It's not my problem. Well, when them kids don't graduate and they become hardened criminals,
Yeah.
and you're 78 years old, you walking home and
You
they
ain't
crack you
upset.
over your head for
Your
your
problem.
pocketbook,
You ain't
it's
lying.
your problem
You
now.
ain't lying.
So,
You're right. And so that's been my number one issue. And the county doesn't deal directly with education funding, but the reality is that our children need to be prepared when they get to school, and that starts in daycare, right? And so we have a lot of families in Yonkers who unfortunately have to make the decision to stay home with their children because they can't afford to go to work and put their children in affordable licensed daycare. So, and it's important that it's licensed because we want our kids to be safe when they go to daycare.
Absolutely.
So when our county exec talks about the subsidies, that there are more slots open, of course, because you decrease the subsidy. Right. So now instead of giving you $10 for you to send your kid, your kid to daycare, I'm only giving $5. But where am I supposed to make up that $5? I can't make it up, so I stay home to take care of my kid, and then I go to DSS.
Right.
So you're in the system either way.
Either way.
So why don't we help people and give them the proper subsidy so that they can go to work and be, continue being productive members of society.
That makes
and make
sense.
sure that our children are ready to enter pre-K, to enter kindergarten. So that's been my number one thing, making sure that our children are getting the education that they deserve. Number two, which is like the issue, I think in Westchester that's at the forefront, is affordable housing. So in Yonkers, what I did was I championed our affordable housing ordinance, which several communities throughout Westchester have, and a lot have a 20% threshold, which is what we push for, but I didn't have the votes on the council, and that's one thing that I have learned. You got to be able to count to 4. Lorraine, you know that, right? You got to count to 4. If you can't get to 4, it doesn't matter. I could get to 3 real quick. I got Michael Sabatino, the minority leader. I got Corazon Pineda Isaac in the 2nd district, and I got myself. I get to 3, and then I get stuck. So I can't get anything passed. But at this point, we did have our 4 votes, and we got an affordable housing ordinance passed that says any development with 100 units or more has to have 10% affordable housing in it.
It's like the city.
Right.
Yep, just like
The
Call
one
it, please hold.
special thing, the special thing about this ordinance is it's tiered. So you have to have a third of that 10% has to be for people who make between 35 and 50% of the AMI. A third has to be between people who make between 50 and 65%, and a third between 65 and 80. And the reason that's important is when you say 10% and walk away, the developer says, okay, we'll give it to people who make 75% of the AMI. And so people at the low end get shafted. So we're making sure that there's housing available for a family of 4, for example, who make between $35,000 and $85,000 a year.
Okay.
So in that tier, and then it's broken up into thirds. Instead of them developers walking in and saying, "Oh, your family makes $80,000 a year, great, we're just going to give it to y'all." So we were able to do that, and we want to make sure that people have the ability to afford housing in this county. And why? Because when you can't afford housing, you don't have a place to live, and we call those people homeless.
Now, I want to deal with that, and I'm going to do something. I was trying to handle everything before you came in here.
No worries.
But Damon was able to call now.
Uh-oh.
So I want him to address that one situation. 2, this is, and 2, Lorraine.
Yes, sir.
While Nicole Benjamin is an attractive young lady, she is not my girlfriend. That's how rumors get started. I just want to clear. No, I want to clear the air.
I didn't mean it that way. I mean, like,
I would be honored, but I'm just saying I'm not. I don't take credit for anything that I'm not doing.
She is beautiful. But I meant homegirl type.
And secondly, Eric Short. Eric Short said, "Big Little Dre in the building." Damon K. Jones.
Yes.
Damon
what
K.
up? What up?
And real quick and real brief, because we've moved on from this topic. London Reyes, I had a phone call with him yesterday, and he said that he sent letters out to all of the unions for support. And he said he never did schedule an appointment with the WCA. And he said and he said have them show you a piece of paper or email or anything where I confirm to meet with them.
Well, it was Delphine Hauser that confirmed the meeting. It wasn't London Reyes, to be exact. But we're not a union; we're a fraternal organization. We did not get a letter. We did not get a letter from Reyes, but the show was confirmed by Delphine. So I was under understanding, and we was understanding, that they both was going to show up because that was the conversation.
See, that's why I left it penciled in, because you talked to Delphine, and Delphine confirmed.
They were both scheduled to come in, yeah.
Okay, because I knew I left it penciled in because he never got back to me. But I just wanted to deal with the point that he said, basically he was calling everybody a liar yesterday. Yes. Anybody who said I was scheduled to, he said the WCA, he was never scheduled to meet with.
He knew he was expected.
He was never scheduled to meet with the WCA.
Well, then he needs to straighten that out with Delphine.
Okay.
All right, because that's who I spoke to, and allegedly he checked with him and got back with us on the dates.
Okay, so that's how it happened. That's how it went down.
Okay.
Now he's going to call Delphine a liar.
Now we have the whole story.
But he's still going to say he didn't do it.
London's people are listening, whether he is or not, because he said his people listened and talked to him last week. So we moved on from that topic.
Right.
But we got Christopher Johnson. We got Christopher Johnson in the house.
Damon, if you need me to show up anywhere, I'll show up.
heard me say
no shade.
hey.
But if you need me to be anywhere, we're trying to get as many endorsements as possible. We locking them up. You check out the website at johnsonforwestchester.com, and you'll see all the endorsements right there, front and center.
That's a good politician.
Chris, I have no doubt in my mind that we set a date, you will be there.
Yes. And I have no doubt in my mind that after we sit and have a conversation, y'all won't want to endorse me.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're definitely is Maxwell there?
Yes, sir.
Max
yes,
is
sir.
in the house.
Yeah, so I guess well, July is almost over, so I guess the next meeting in August, we'll have to get Mr. Johnson in.
Yes, sir.
So Maxwell's the man. He's the man to set that up, and we could definitely make that happen.
That's what's up.
We also got Andre Wallace in the building. He decided to grace us with his presence.
Oh, the great Andre Wallace.
Yeah.
What's up, D?
Yeah, hey, what's happening, man? What's happening? I'll talk to you offline.
I know what you want to talk about.
That's a whole nother show.
No doubt.
I'll talk to you offline.
No doubt.
Yeah, but hey, everybody's doing a great job. I'm proud of keeping it up, and Black Westchester is doing a great job, and I'm definitely proud of everybody in my hiatus. But I will be back bringing the heat.
Yes.
Sooner than people think.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So
Right.
sooner than people think. Lorraine, you're doing a wonderful job. Max,
Does that mean
you're
I
doing a
gotta
wonderful
leave
job.
when you come back?
Absolutely not.
We'll create some more space at the table.
Absolutely. I told you that before. I told you that you're the Latino power sister. Your seat is right there.
Oh,
You ain't gotta
right.
worry about it.
Yo, Damon, and we're reconfirming now. Next month, between September 15th and October 15th is National Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're gonna spend a portion of the September edition of Black Westchester dealing with that, and it will be the beginning of the Latino Empowerment column by
Yeah.
Lorraine Lopez.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. That's
Good
what's
luck.
up. That's what we need. That's what's happening.
No doubt.
That's how we make it happen.
No doubt.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is important is making sure that blacks and Latinos are on the same page.
Yeah, Brown gotta
Because a
stick
lot of
together.
our
Brown gotta
struggles
stick together.
are similar.
Right.
We've got differences, obviously. You know, they've got differences within the Latin community. We've got differences within the black community. But the reality is, when we walk out the door, when we're in the streets,
We're
a
all the
lot of
same.
our issues are the
We're
same.
the
all
same.
the same.
Right.
So we
They
need to
look
make
at
sure
us the same.
we're on the same page.
We looked at
Well,
the
we
same.
are all the same. We all come from the motherland, Africa. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
We
different
all
different people
rich
got
days.
let off at different stops, but
That's all it is. Just some got let off before others. But when it comes up to this November election, the black and Latino community better vote in the block. Because this man that's in this man that's in this county exec seat is really taking a lot from us.
That's right.
And he's really playing a shell game with this money, and we're losing a lot of programs in our communities throughout Westchester County. So we really need to look at, and examine, that. Never mind who's running, Lattimore or Jenkins. We got to get behind the winner of that, and we got to get Westchester representing all people, not just some people.
That's right.
And that would be Jenkins. Just saying.
yo, and in your absence, I got the Tip Perfect T-shirt representing you today. Danger, educated black man.
Watch out. Watch out.
Word up.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm representing. So,
All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all keep going.
All right, no doubt.
Always
Yo,
love,
Hi,
Dick
Damon.
K.
Yo, I'll
Always
talk
love.
to you after the show, and I was
Yes,
able
sir.
to
Yes, sir.
download the
Okay.
program finally.
Great.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
so we'll talk
and
later.
Andre, Andre, I'll talk
I know offline.
Yeah.
offline.
All right, fam.
All right.
All right, you got it.
That was my other half, Damon K. Jones, out and about, but like he said, he will be back sooner than later. The last we left off with the last word out your mouth was homelessness.
It's true.
And we have a guest columnist and she's a regular on the show, Laura Case, which is she came through and she wrote a series of articles, homelessness in Westchester and homelessness in Yonkers, and she was saying that she couldn't get in touch with people. And I've said this with you not here.
It's true.
I hit him on Facebook Messenger. We're dealing with homelessness in Yonkers. Can you call? He said, when? I said, now. The phone rang. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he let Laura ask, because Laura wasn't able to get in touch, ask certain questions.
That's right.
And while I haven't been updated lately, she did tell me that y'all had been working together, and there was some legislation that you were trying to get pushed through.
Right.
And she was telling me nothing but good things. So
yeah, so one of the things that I think that was last summer. Yeah. And so unfortunately, not too long after that, there was an incident and some conflict between the county exec and the mayor of the city about one of our overnight shelters and it being up to code. And I witnessed 13 individuals sleeping outside in the cold on a September night. And I sat there for several hours with them. You know, I had to get home because the wife was like, "Hey, don't be out there too long." But she lets me do my job, and it's one of the saddest things. Like, you'll never let's all take a moment to thank God that when we leave here tonight, we're going home. And you know, they don't care who walks up, and they don't care how you look. Because I wasn't dressed as well as I am now, but I was dressed, and you know, they walked right up to me. Do you need a place to sleep tonight? And I said, no, I'm councilman. I'm here to see what's going on. And unfortunately, I witnessed 13 people sleep out in the cold. And
Hector Santiago said, I was there, true story.
Yeah. Yeah. And what we did was I hit the mayor up the next day, and we played a little bit of phone tag. And when we got in touch with each other, you know, we talked about how important it is to make sure that these facilities are up to code first. And I said, look, if the county executive is wrong, because it's the county's responsibility to take care of those who do not have a place to sleep at night. So if the county exec is wrong because he's not keeping these places up to code, then we need to call him out on that. We don't need to put people out on the street. Right. Because I'm sure if you ask these individuals, they'd rather sleep in the staircase than sleep out in the cold. Right. And so we need to take care of that.
And they have other issues too, other than just homelessness. One of the things
that hit me when you said, you know, you might not have been dressed like you are now, but they asked you, did you want a place to stay? Did you need a place to stay? She was bringing to our attention the growing number of working homeless.
So
like, I've never, like, before that, I didn't know that there was such a big population of working homeless. Those who have 9 to 5s, their kids go to school, they just have nowhere to live. So,
and so you have, like, we can contextualize that and we can understand that, right? As individuals, people can't afford to live somewhere, so but as a good legislator, you don't just go that night, you got to follow up. So I go another evening just to see whether or not everybody's getting in the van so that they can go to the place where they're going to spend the night. And this one woman walks up to me and says she didn't want to go to a particular shelter because it was too far from her place of employment. And I knew that. Right. Like, I knew that there are people that work, but like it still hit me. It's still like, you got to go to work tomorrow. Right.
Oh,
and like, God. So where you sleep is important to you. Like, that obviously makes sense. And that takes me back to affordable housing, right? There's no reason why somebody should be working, why someone should have a job, and shouldn't be able to afford
paying
to keep a roof over their head.
Paying taxes.
Right.
Paying taxes.
It doesn't make any sense. And so in this county, the richest county in the nation, if not the richest, one of the richest, definitely
one of the top in the top 10, in the top 5. I'm sorry,
definitely,
5.
and one or two in New York. It's us in Nassau, depending on what metrics you're looking at. There's no reason why people who are working should not be able to keep a roof over their heads. It's unconscionable. And so then you've got people who have mental health issues, who need to take their medications and things of that sort. Some people, they just need to be somebody to keep up on them, right? To call them in the morning and just remind them, hey, did you take your meds today? And so there's no reason why the county, whose job it is to make sure that these people, these individuals who live lives, who at some point have been in situations like we are right now, why they should not be getting just a little bit of what we have to offer. Okay. It just doesn't make sense. And so that's my issue. Like, that is the one that I care about, and it doesn't matter what any of the other candidates say. Like, I'm doing the work now. We introduced 2 pieces of legislation on the city council, one to make sure that overnight shelters are up to code and setting a code for what those are, and another piece asking the county to introduce legislation saying that any developer that comes to Westchester County IDA puts aside a percentage to make sure that we're building shelters or keeping shelters up to code. And so that's a piece of legislation I'll introduce in January when I'm a county legislator.
That's beautiful. I just wanted
Jesus, AJ.
I'm like, yo, I'm just blown away by the
Are
whole
there
thing.
homeless? Are there homeless shelters in Yonkers now?
So there's one overnight shelter in Yonkers right now.
Is that the one where the showers don't work?
It's so it's on North Broadway.
Oh, okay.
And they have showers upstairs that in my conversations with Laura, the women are allowed to use. And so we had conversations about the men having a place to shower. There's an agreement with the YMCA so that they can have showers. We also kept the bathhouse open. I talked to the mayor and I said, look, I understand we want to close the bathhouse because money and things of that nature, but we need to keep it open until we find a place for these individuals to make sure that they can clean up in the morning. I mean, it's just a rough style of, like, it's a rough life, like to have to sign up in the day, then go back at 9 o'clock to get online, to have your name called, to get in a van, to take you either up North Broadway or to New Rochelle or to White Plains or wherever, to sleep from maybe on a cot from 10 p.m. if you could get to sleep that quickly till 5 a.m. where they wake you up and say, please get out. And then they don't tell you where to go. They don't tell you how to get there. They just say, all right, thank you. And it just seems cold.
How do you help them get permanent shelter? I'm sorry, AJ.
You know, we've got to move to a system where we want to house people with, as quickly as possible. So,
yeah.
I mean, I know that
But
there are
Westchester
programs
County don't care because it's not affecting the affluent neighborhoods. So, they're looking at, all right, Mount Vernon, Yonkers.
Well, it was affecting Getty Square.
But it's not affecting Scarsdale. It's not affecting Chappaqua.
That's right. That's why they need a legislator who's going to speak up for them on the county ledge.
Exactly.
Who's going to go to White Plains and make sure that this is the center of the conversation.
So you that legislator?
That's me.
All right. Well, I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
If you're that legislator, we have an issue going on with the county with the 5-year clause with the officers. If you're hurt on the job before 5 years, they retire you out before 5 years. You don't get your medical benefits.
If you get hurt on the job.
If you get hurt on the job, if the county retires an officer,
well, let's go back. So you were hurt on the job.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Let me.
I think I heard you speak about this last week.
Huh?
I think I heard you speak on this last week.
I'm the one. I'm the one that it happened to, and I'm the poster boy, and I'm proud to be, because my job now is to fight for every other officer in Westchester County. If you hurt on the job and the county retires you out, you don't reach 5 years, they take your medical benefits.
Is that contractual? Was that negotiated?
No, it's a county policy.
It's a county policy.
Now with that policy, when you're hired by the county, the recruiting, you're told that your medical is for life. Right? Now remember, you did not quit, you did not resign, you did not get fired. You got hurt on the job, you got retired, half pay, 3/4. Why is your medical not continuing with that?
So I'll say this.
I'm going to cut you.
No, finish.
Now, with that said, last week I didn't get a chance to ask Ms. Carmen Gomez-Goldberg about this. I forgot, so I called her for a quote, and I just want to give her that respect. She did give me a quote over the phone. Very, very kind woman. She said that was outrageous. She said it's something that she never think would happen with the men and women in blue. Remember, this clause affects all county officers, not just corrections. All county officers. If a county officer is hurt on the job, doing their job to protect you, and they got 4 years or 3 years,
right,
their medical benefits, POMCO, is taken away from you. I had 2 months to go until I reached 5 years, and they took my medical benefits from me without even telling me. I wasn't even notified that my medical was taken away. I was still using my medical.
Right.
Because I was told when I got into the academy, your medical is for life. Now, I know you want to answer, but I want to give Ken Jenkins the respect and Lyndon Williams. Those are the only 2 legislators that stood up and fought for this clause and talked about it and tried to make changes in the legislative body.
But neither one of them are your legislator.
And neither one of them my legislator.
Who is your legislator?
Mr. Tester. Okay. Which, I reached out to Mr. Tester, probably 10 times certified mail return receipt. I always do certified mail return receipt because you can't say you didn't get it. Okay? But Ken Jenkins and Linda Williams have been two strong individuals in regards to this clause. I want to bring it to you now. If you're going to take over Mr. Jenkins' seat, how do you feel about that? Remember, this is protecting all men and women in blue and their families.
This.
Well, county
you have
county
two,
workers, not municipality.
all county police.
All county.
Yes.
All
So
county.
you have two legislators that are pushing the right thing right now, and I can guarantee you that in January you'll have two, because Lyndon will still be there, and I'll be there with him.
All right, that's what I need.
I'll be there right next to him.
We have a couple of people that were commenting about the homelessness thing, and I didn't get a chance to read them. Tanya Connors, one comment was homeless and hungry. She said DSS gives them such a hard time in order to be placed in a shelter instead of just dropping in every night. Sean Patterson Howard said, we have such a tremendous issue with the hidden homeless, people who are living
on couches
in illegal rooming houses, shifts, and our teenagers and adults who are couch surfing.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean.
Yeah.
It's unconscionable. It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, basically, like you
in
said,
this
you have
county-
working
in this
homeless.
county.
You have to.
Oh, and Tanya said, wow, that was quick on homelessness. While we're not going to deal with the whole show, but this is something we deal with almost every show. Like,
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
We're going to keep this up. So
Well,
there's
no,
a constant conversation going on.
There's a lot of issues, and you can't possibly cover them all, and you can't expect any elected official to fix all your problems. And the reality is, like I said, in Yonkers, while on the council, you got to get to 4. The things that have been at the forefront for me, if I wasn't able to get to 4 votes, then it didn't happen.
It's hard to get to 3 in Mount Vernon.
And
hard to get
so,
to 2.
sometimes you look in the mirror and you're like, do I have 1?
You doubting yourself.
And on the county level, the goal is to put together, a group of people where you could get to 9, and when the county exec disagrees, get to 12, so that you can override those vetoes like they did to decrease taxes 2%. And it's funny because the county exec takes credit for keeping everybody's taxes low, but the reality is that when the Democrats on the county board had a supermajority, he presented a 0 tax levy. The county legislators cut taxes 2%. He vetoed it, and they overrode his veto. So when he says that taxes are lower today than the time he took office, that's because of Democrats on the county board. And not because of a coalition of Democrats and Republicans, but because of Democrats, and I got to give him credit, that was led by the chairman, Ken Jenkins, at the time, from this seat. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, because now I want to go into the powerhouses that have sat in this seat. I've heard you talk about Herman Keith, who was the first black legislator on the board,
him and Ernie
along
Davis.
with Ernie Davis, who
Yes.
were both elected at the same time in the 80s. He was defeated in a primary by Andrea Stewart Cousins, who is now the 3rd most powerful Democrat, in my opinion, in the state of New York, after the Speaker and the Governor. And that was followed up by Ken Jenkins, who was the first chairman from Yonkers. So with those shoes, are big. And they followed one another, and they filled them well. And so we need somebody who's going to follow up behind them and fill them too. And
So
I got big
do
feet.
listen to the show.
Yeah.
That's
I do
three
listen.
things. That's 3 things he commented on.
He's not looking at his phone or nothing.
There's no notes. There's no notes.
nothing.
I've been doing this. I'm real.
Because other people tell me,
people
yeah,
know
so
that
I heard you said. You know what I'm saying? I heard, someone called, I heard you said. You're like, no, when
I was listening to the show,
That's right.
yeah, so people know, and that's a great point. Thank you very much. Like, I do my homework, I pay attention. So when I'm elected to the county board in January, people won't have to worry, did I hear them when they spoke? Did he listen to my concerns and take that to the board? Because the reality is, I heard what you said, and I'm going to push the issue if it's definitely if I'm on the right side and we feel that it's important. The reality is, I don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. But the truth of the matter is, whoever listens to people who have good ideas and people who are in trouble and want to get out of trouble and want to present solutions to problems, if you can listen to those people, then you'll be fine. A lot of the pieces of legislation I've introduced have come in conversations with everyday people. Introduced a local jobs bill, which you had a guest on the show who said I didn't use my position of influence on the council to introduce legislation to get people hired locally. That's false. I have a bill that's literally called the jobs bill, which would require developers to use a percentage of a tax break. I think we said 20%, of whatever they get on a tax break to hire people from local communities. Once again, I couldn't get to 4. I got to 3, but I have a whole bunch of colleagues who complain that they see trucks and Jeeps and stuff coming from other states, but they won't support this legislation that will guarantee people to work locally. Additionally, I have a piece of legislation, a resolution, that I would like to go up to the state asking for extra points on police and fire civil service exams to local high school residents. This would make sure that people who came up in our schools, who came up in our ranks, who know our communities, get a better opportunity, get a fair shake, get a good shot at serving the community that educated them, that raised them, and they want to give back.
That's very important.
No, that's awesome.
Now, I want to. Homelessness is something they say don't exist,
That's cool.
and the other word that they say doesn't exist in Westchester is poverty. And I just want to show you a picture real quick. So this is the Community Voices Heard had a forum on poverty, and I want to show you that front row. What you can't see is those pages say reserved for county legislators. Not one except for Christina
Catherine Borgia?
Yeah, she's the only one that showed up. You know what I'm saying? But so we hope that when they have stuff like that, at least there'll be one more person in the seat. That's all I want to say, though. Like,
I'm great friends with the organization, and they're going through their endorsement process right now, and I hope to receive their endorsement. But they had an event in Nyack, I believe, where they had the Attorney General come speak, and they asked him serious questions about homelessness and zombie houses and things of that nature that the Attorney General's office deals with. And they said, Councilman, we have a good relationship. Would you come up to Nyack? And so I got in my car and I drove up there. I made some phone calls on the way, which was helpful. Had some time to myself. But I'll go. I'll be there. They'll save me a seat in the front row, CVH.
All right.
there's a Tanya Connor. I don't know if she's from Yonkers.
Yeah, she
said
does great work.
She said Chris is for the people and put a fist.
so she's great. So she's a 100 Sisters.
Okay.
So last year when we unfortunately witnessed the murders of Philandro Castile and Austin Sterling, she felt that Yonkers had to have a response. And so she went to the police station and said we'd like to do a march, and tried to get her permits, and she was having some trouble, so she reached out to my office, and I think Councilwoman Pineda as well. We jumped on and we said absolutely we will support this march and make sure that Yonkers, that the communities around this nation that are feeling that pain know that Yonkers is with them, because the reality is we felt that pain too. Because I'm not afraid to admit this as a man, it don't matter. When I saw the video of Philandro Castile's fiance sitting in the car, calm. She was calm. I cried.
Go ahead.
I watched this man take his last breath, and
What nonsense.
it was so sad, and I literally had tears,
I got a lot of
falling down my eyes. And so we need to make sure that we support organizations like 100 Sisters who want to make sure that communities throughout Westchester and communities here are supportive. CJ.
CJ, okay. He's coming. He's going to be talking about his concert towards the end of the show. We got some time.
Supporting that too, of course. We doing everything here. Yeah. Councilman from the 1st District. What's his name? Chris Johnson. That's right. That's right.
Oh wait, that is in your. The show is in your.
The show
district.
is in the district. Everything's in the 1st District, man. When people think about Yonkers, no offense, Lorraine. Okay. I know she used to represent the 2nd District. So, but people think about Yonkers, man. You think about the downtown. You think about Getty Square. You're thinking about
I love the
on the water.
I love the Riverfront
Think about
Library.
the Riverfront Library. I mean, when people think about Yonkers,
we had a lot of meetings there.
So we're trying to do work in the city. I'm trying to take that to the next level.
Commissioner Gardner tell us that racism does not play a role in how they police in his police department.
Yeah. You know what
in the Riverfront.
I've had interesting conversations with Commissioner Gardner, and the only thing I will say to him from this.
And, wait, and I want to say not to throw him under the bus.
Yeah.
Every commissioner that I've talked to in Westchester County, and every police chief. Peekskill, New Rochelle, Yonkers, Mount Vernon when they had one, don't have one. Tom Roach, White Plains, Phil Finer in Greenberg, wherever. This is what, and all the police commissioners have all said the same.
So the one thing I'll say
chiefs.
to all of them, whether or not you believe that there's a policing issue or that there's racism in your department, when there's a trust issue with the community, you can't police well. Now, the Yonkers Police Department will say that, especially now with all the conversation about immigration and so on and so forth. But the reality is, when you have people not snitching because they don't trust that anything is going to happen.
Yeah.
When
Or they're
you
gonna be
do
protected,
bad, right? That you're actually protecting the community.
Yep.
So when members of the community believe and trust, and I know that that a majority of the police officers, super majority, 99% of them
99.9, right.
are great men and women, amazing individuals who risk their lives, each and every day. But when the community believes that percentage is higher than it actually is, then policing struggles. And that's what the problem is. There's a trust issue between the police and the community. And one thing, I think we were at the same meeting, AJ. He said that there had been, I think, 2 police officers in the last year that were reprimanded. One had lost his job, and one was suspended without pay for X amount of time. And the whole room was like, And
well, look at
at that moment, people trusted the Yonkers Police Department for like 5 minutes because they were like, "Whoa, people get suspended."
Well, I mean, look at the 2 guys that actually did get indicted for throwing the guy out the window on School Street, and then they for Jamal Smythe being they lied in his investigation, and he went to jail for 4 years, was sentenced to 15, and our stories helped him be released. Those 2 officers were indicted, which we were surprised. Indicted.
That's right.
But they, for their crimes, they were sentenced to a whopping, one of them, 8 weeks of weekends. And the second one, 20 weeks of weekends. So I'm just like, yo, what the hell is that? And going back to what you just said about the no snitching, I got a T-shirt that say everything. So if the police say if you see something, say something, but they see their coworkers committing outright murder and don't say shit.
That's right.
Yeah. So until the cops break down their blue wall and they start snitching or telling the good ones speaking up on the bad, how you gonna get the kids in the block?
And I'll say this: Keith Olson is the president of the Yonkers PBA, and I've had a lot of one-on-one conversations with him. We disagree often, but we agree probably just as much. And there have been some of these shootings where we've had conversations and he's like, "Yo, Chris, that was wrong. That should not have happened. I don't believe that. It was a bad shoot." I think is a direct quote from him. And so my challenge is, and I think this is exactly what you're saying is, then somebody needs to say that publicly.
Well, see,
someone needs
that's
to say it publicly, and that's when the community will be like,
the one girl who did, remember she made the Facebook, she got because of her son, and she got suspended.
I don't think she actually did get suspended. I know there was a thing.
No,
going around.
she got suspended.
I posted it, and
she got
I had
suspended,
to take it down.
and then her boss came out and said she wasn't suspended. They put her ass back to work real quick. Yeah, no. She was suspended.
Okay,
and then she was. Because there's a second video about her being suspended. She says she got suspended.
Okay, I didn't see.
You know what I'm saying? So unless she lied, unless she outright lied, she said she was suspended. You understand what I'm saying? And because of the commotion that it made, they had to put her back to work very quick and very fast, and then try to make it like, oh, it was a misunderstanding. She was never. But my point is the fact that she spoke out and there was even a rumor she got suspended.
Yeah.
Like, that's a warning to everybody else. Like, yeah, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. And we need to establish those lines of trust, because police are there to protect our community. They're there to make sure that the law is followed, that there's order, and that when there's not, they step in. But they can't step in if people don't trust them. But we have to realize that we can't police our way out of every problem. There's a lot of work to be done on the front end, and that's why educating our children is so important, because when they're in school and they like school and they're enjoying their education, they're not getting in trouble. When they have football practice and basketball practice
music
to go to,
class,
they're not on the street.
Right.
When they gotta go to practice for the trumpet, they're not on the street.
And see, one of the most important you said, music. They cut in the programs of the arts. Music.
It doesn't make any sense.
You know what I'm saying?
No
like,
sense.
there's a lot of people in history.
And the
Kenny
after-school
G.
programs.
Kenny G. I watched the thing on Kenny G. School music saved his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, music saved his. That's the only reason he continued going to school. Like, when he was going, music saved his life. That was his salvation. Like, you
I had a
understand
fight
what
with
I'm
my
saying?
mom. She was like, "Oh, you can't play football no more because your grades are slipping." And I said, "My grades are better during the football season." And I didn't realize that parents keep your report cards. I thought they were like me, like I forgot what grades I got. And so she went into the box and got out all the old report cards. I just happened to be right.
Oh,
There's
wow,
something
wow.
to that.
Nice.
When a kid has to keep themselves straight because they know that there's something that they love at the end of that, and that might be taken away, they'll do it. They'll do it.
But not even with the sports, but the arts is even another level because our children learn and articulate differently.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And music and art and the arts, you know, help them develop. You know what I'm saying? And then how they speak to each other. So you cut those programs, you kind of cut their spirit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You cut their,
True story.
you know.
True story.
And then
So-
you build a new wing at Valhalla. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Well, you know, that's what they check out the third grade scores and they see whether or not they got to do that. And so we need to get in front of these things, and we can't you know, look to the police to solve all of our problems. The reality is that we need elected officials in government who understand what everyday people are going through, who understand what these issues are, what they look like, and are willing to come up with solutions. And that doesn't mean, like I said, that doesn't mean they have to come up with the answers themselves, but it means they have to sit down with people who have ideas, sit down with people who have answers, sit down with people who want to ask the right questions, right? Because if you're not asking the right questions, you're not going to get the right answer. So that means we just have to have elected officials who are willing to have these conversations. And all too often, we have electeds who just don't care about communities that they don't represent, about communities that don't look like them, and we need elected representation that's going to, you know, go out of their way.
But you know, another level of that is they care about those who vote for them, and that's the point that vote. Period.
Yep,
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? And by a large group of us not voting, you kind of take yourself out the game a little bit too on another level.
You know, and I'm running right now. We start knocking on doors. My campaign is going balls to the wall starting tomorrow. Grassroots. We're knocking on doors. We're paying young people $15 an hour. CJ,
Oh, wow.
holla if you got people $15 an hour who want to work. Go to
I
the
might
website.
need something to do on Tuesday.
Go to the website. There's a contact button on the website. Just shoot us an email. We'll bring you in for an interview. $15 an hour to go knock on doors and talk to voters. And part of the problem is, though, right, that we see is the system self-perpetuates itself. So people say, I don't vote because I don't know them. They don't talk to me. They never knocked on my door. But we know who votes, and we want to talk to the people who vote.
Right.
So then, for the rest of the summer, I'm going to be knocking on doors. I'm knocking on doors of people who I know vote. Right? If you're not a registered voter, if you can't vote in the primary because you're a Republican, this is a Democratic primary, or if you never vote, why should I knock on your door? And then I don't knock on your door, but then you say, you didn't knock on my door, so I didn't vote. But then I don't knock on your door.
Right.
And so it's a system that just violently
Repeats
continues
itself.
to
Yep.
repeat itself. And so we got to break our way out. And one of the ways to do that is just to start over and break down the system. So what I did last year, I registered 350 high school seniors to vote myself. Go into the schools. I stayed a whole day. We talked to all the Echo and Gov classes. I do a nice little presentation that they think is hilarious. And midway through, I asked them if, you know, they want to register to vote based on the presentation I've given them. And, you know, those who raise their hands and who are eligible, that means they're a citizen and they will be 18 in that year.
Right.
We register them. I walk them through the whole thing. I don't tell them whether to be a Democrat or a Republican because I can't do that, but I
Right.
give them nice examples like Donald Trump and Barack Obama. You can guess which one they often pick. But and then we
That's an
register.
easy choice, right?
for some.
You know what?
Don't really vote young people.
Donald Trump is not only making Barack look good, but he's starting to
Making
make
Bush family.
the Bush
The Bush
brothers
family.
look, the Bush
Ain't
family
that
look
the
good,
truth, right?
and
saying
that's
that.
like crazy.
They just
like,
come out of hiding.
yo, that's kind of crazy.
Two fake wars.
So and then we got to go to places that
I'm a
we
Republican.
don't always go. It's all right.
Huh?
It's all right. That just means sometimes we disagree. That's all.
And Republicans make mistakes too, and
We all
that's
do.
what we did with Trump.
Well, I'm an independent, and I do sometimes vote Republican.
You're independent. You
Even
live
when
in
they
Mount Vernon.
lose. Yeah.
What's the point of that?
I'm not down with the Democratic Party.
No, but I'm saying you don't have like the winner of the primary
we
wins.
can use you over here.
I can still do damage. And
Well, you got the microphone, but
Yeah.
I believe in strategic politics.
No, I agree.
And
with
so,
you.
like, when you're in a district where the Democrats gonna win, you need to be a Democrat so that you can have an effect.
You do
and an outcome on.
I was just
you have an effect anyway because you got a microphone.
I was pissed off with the Democratic Party in Mount Vernon. I mean, perfect.
Fair enough.
Don't worry, Chris. Ain't nobody knocking on his door.
Actually, I get everybody's mailer though. I just got Pretlow's mailer. Pretlow put out a mailer. I didn't know he was running.
Mailer. That was it was government.
Okay.
So that's that line, right? When you're in office, you still got to communicate and talk
I
to
just got a nice
constituents.
mailer from him.
I got Gary
one
Pretlow's
too.
mailer as well. I live in the district. It's 2/3 Mount Vernon, 1/3 Yonkers. That's why I have to love him so much.
Now, I'm gonna you're gonna hang out, right? Are you in a rush to leave?
Nah,
Okay.
we were just gonna talk about churches and community
Okay, well,
stuff
I'm gonna switch the zone a little bit. Andre Wallace came up, Councilman Andre Wallace, and he has a petition to try to push something through that y'all already have in Yonkers, and that's term limits.
They don't have term limits up there?
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Well,
I know some of us like it that way, but you know,
That's why we have a controller in office for 28
It comes
years.
to a point where sometimes
The controller's been in office for 28
Heck,
years.
it's political season. I'm trying to do politics, and you want me to get in a policy conversation.
I'm not.
Well, no.
letting
You
get in a policy
can. We just switching the gear over here, right
I
there.
know, but I want to talk about it.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's all discuss it and stuff because I'm very big on term limits. I think that when you don't have term limits, people get complacent and they don't do their job. And I noticed that when people come to the end of their service, that's when they want to start to try to get everything done. Okay, why haven't you got everything done when you got there? Because then you could even got more done.
Right.
But I think a lot of people sit back, and I've heard it many times. Oh, don't worry about it. We got plenty of time. Because there is no time.
Doc Cavallo said there's a bunch of people in Congress and Senate. He said pushing oxygen tanks.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? They're about to die tomorrow, but they still sit in that seat till they die.
And they just keep on going and going
That
and
is
going.
true. That is true.
And then their wife takes over for the rest of their term.
Right, exactly.
And one thing I find that's interesting, you say you got to get the 4 and you be getting the 3. You right. I be looking in the mirror and be like, do I have one? I'm not sure. I'm out here doing petitions because I couldn't get any other my colleagues to go with it. It's a big thing. Maybe I step out because I never ran with the party. I ran outside the party, so I always see myself as independent. Even though I'm a Democrat, I'm still independent. And I love the name that the mayor gave me. Mayor Thomas. He always called me Wild Card Wallace, and I enjoy the name because you don't know what I'm gonna do.
Fair enough.
And it's fair enough. And this is something that I really believe in. I couldn't get anybody to agree with. So I had to take another route. I had to hire attorneys and all, put a petition together and all, and knock on doors. And I learned that from Barack Obama. He said, when you can't get the politician to do what you need to do, remember?
Go to the people.
Exactly.
Right. Strap up your boots, grab a pen and a clipboard, and go knock on some doors. So I enjoy knocking on doors anyway. I always walk around. It keeps me in shape. So here I am going around getting signatures, and we're doing real well.
So tomorrow's headline: Wild Card Wallace comes on People Before Politics to talk term limits.
So let me ask you a question.
And being that he's an independent, he didn't sign a petition yet, so I'm gonna get him to sign it before he leaves. So that's why
let me ask you a
we
question.
take it. Republicans, independent. Oh, you signed already?
The first night she had them first.
Oh, okay. All right.
First day she had them, she caught me at the Alamo.
Now, I gotta put a disclaimer.
Yes.
Yonkers has term limits. I would, and the people have voted on term limits several times and said that 2 terms is it, and that's what they want us electeds to have. So I would not vote to overturn term limits. We have that in Yonkers. That's settled. Nobody got to worry whether I'm gonna take another position. However, my question: if we have an educated electorate, aren't elections term limits in themselves, right? So if you have a great elected official that you want to stay around, then you keep them. But if
That's what
somebody's
Ernie Davis
terrible, you get them out.
That's what Ernie Davis said.
Ernie took an L in the middle of this.
He said that we
right?
got term limits. They term
They
limit
called
the hell out of me.
Right. He lost to Clinton, and then he lost to Richie. Like he saw term limits in his real power.
But can I say something real quick?
ahead.
Mount Vernon, and I don't know what you're gonna say, but you're a politician. I mean, elected official. Yo, so sometimes you gotta be PC. Mount Vernon, especially the politicians of Mount Vernon, they depend on the miseducation and uninformed voters of Mount Vernon. You know what I'm saying? Like they go, that's they don't do anything to change that. You know what I'm saying? And they depend on that. And I've heard this out of several of their mouths. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only a certain amount of people that vote. The other people don't vote, so we don't even worry about them. We just deal with these right here.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I'm
how
saying?
it is in Southwest Yonkers.
Someone actually told me and Andre when he was running. You know what I'm saying? Like, those exact words. But so it depends. If you're that's why people like Black Westchester and people before politics are a problem, because one of our jobs is we try to educate the voters. You understand what I'm saying? And make a more educated decision. And that's not necessary. When you start doing that, people start losing jobs.
Yep.
And let me say this to everybody. You know, there are some of us like that don't agree with term limits, but there are many that do. Okay, my whole thing about going out and getting these petitions and place it on, because my argument with my colleagues was, it's 5 of us. What gives you the right to make the decision for the 100,000 out there?
Right.
Why don't we put it on and see what they got to say?
That's true.
Okay,
Let the people
That makes
decide.
sense.
right.
Yeah.
The government is
the people
for the
decide.
people, by the people, and now you're saying that you ain't giving them an opportunity. And
Make a choice.
what you're doing is you're holding information away from them and an opportunity for them to be involved. And that's all I'm saying, is that I decided I'm going to knock on these doors so I could give the people the opportunity. So when it comes in November, let's see what they say.
Right.
Because it's about them. We work for them. Okay? We're supposed to be elected to go over there to do the things that they ask us to do and to represent them and the problems that they're having. We don't go there to say, okay, now that we're here, we're going to do it our way.
Right.
No, we're supposed to learn to listen to the people. You know, and that's one of the big things I'm really against with some of the other, politicians and elected officials and whatever you want to call them. They don't listen. They don't care. I hear people say all the time, people don't know what they want. All the people are stupid. I hear this all the time, and it's wrong. We went there to do their job. We ain't go there to do our own stuff and get in there. That's like my mother sending me to the store, talk about pick up a loaf of bread. I come back with a pack of cigarettes. Talk about, I needed this, Me and my friends is going to, whatever it may be. But they're asking you to do something, And what I'm finding is that most people are going there for a job. And I've made this clear. When I got elected and when I was running, I said the same thing, and everything I say is always consistent to what I said before I ran, and now that I'm here, it's the same words. I didn't go there to get a job. I went there to do a job.
Hey,
and once I'm
like
finished
that.
with that job, I'm on my way to something else, okay? Because we have a problem in Mount Vernon. And a lot of people don't want to admit it, and they don't want to face. And it's not always Mount Vernon, it's the people. And the people that we're putting in place to do the job. And we're not picking the right folks. And you think I'm wrong? Okay, look at us for the last 20 years. Tell me what happened.
Nothing.
Obviously, you're going to say, okay, well, it's all of this other stuff. It's the elements. Somebody is deciding, somebody's directing how this thing goes. We got
a couple of comments real quick. Tanya Connor said, feeding the people. Now you guys continue to do the good work. Eric Short said, don't knock on my door on Saturdays. I might confuse you with a religious group.
And you know what's so funny? About that?
Hector said,
it almost happened too.
Hector said, Andre has always kept his word with me, for sure. Great guy. Rura said Tanya Connors and the 100 Sisters do a great job for the community. Kudos to you, Tanya, and the entire 100 Sisters group.
They feed the people at the Sharon community every week.
I've been there. I've been there with them and watched them do a great job. And Sean Patterson Howard also said, shout out to Tanya Connors and the 100 Sisters. They are out there serving the most vulnerable people in the community and need your support. Those are some of the comments.
Tanya, hit me up.
People that are listening, Cynthia Turnquest Jones, Brian Harrod, Sean Patterson Howard, Ken Bright, Hector Santiago, Eric Short, Glenn Butler, Jennifer Wiggle Holland, Lauren Cater, Mike Cater's wife.
No,
Hey.
that's his sister. That's his sister.
I'm
Hey.
sorry.
gotta cater
Vote
to
for
Tom-
Mike Cater, by the way.
Tom Connors, Tanya Connors, and also Wayne Butler and Sherry Frazier. Those are all the shout-outs, and I think we have a call coming in.
Let it be Gail. All the other candidates.
Caller, whoever that was.
I need a call from Gail.
Caller, whoever that was calling in, please call back. I missed your call. You hung up before I could pick up.
So what kind of response are you getting from the folks?
Actually, pretty much, I could count on one hand how many people said no.
Really?
Huh?
Because everybody has opened up to term limits. You know, as soon as I say term limits, people go, "Oh, give me that," you know, and they want to sign. So we just get a response over and over and over. And you know, a lot of times other officials said that, "Oh, people didn't want a term limits." I find that it's about 97% of the people. This is gonna, once it's on the ballot, it's going to
pass.
be overwhelming.
Do you think you're going to get it on the ballot, though?
We have.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think? 2 terms? 3 terms?
I did 3 terms.
3 terms.
Because I wanted to be fair, in a sense that
I
at
thought
times.
it was going to be a council 2 terms and mayor 3
it's
terms.
3 terms all the way across the board for everybody.
Now let me ask
because
you. I have a question. I have a question
Let me
because
just
I've
say
been
this
correct.
before.
I've been
Go ahead.
interrupted. Yonkers is
2 terms.
but is consecutive, so you can sit out and then run again.
Very true.
Is this the same thing?
Same thing.
Okay.
But the bottom line, yeah, you can sit out and then you can come back if you want. But the bottom line with
Caller,
this,
please
the
hold.
reason why I did it at 3 terms is because looking at some of the other elected officials and other people, those first few years you got to get your feet wet. You got to understand the process. You got to get all of those things going. And then the next 2 years of that first year, a year and a half, you're already trying to run for office again. So you're really not getting nothing done in the first 4 years. And usually when you look at taking the idea of each half of your term, you're trying to go out there and get elected for the next term. So your 8 years is really only, 6 years. Pretty much, or 4 years, because you're running for office. So if you give them a 3rd term, and I've watched it, that even with Bloomberg, who had to get a 3rd term to finish up what he had to do, it makes sense.
Obama needed a 3rd term,
opportunity.
as far as I'm concerned. Obama needed a 3rd term.
Yeah, and that's what you see. It would have finished up and locked up certain things. So I think it's fair. I spoke about it, and I spoke about it with our Democratic chair, who talked to me about it as well, and he made me understand that, because I was going to push for 2. But he worked with me, and gave me the understanding.
Now, is he supportive? Because he wasn't always supportive of
right.
this.
Well, he wasn't for the 2 terms. He didn't, but he was for the 3 terms. And I feel it's a good negotiation, and some of the things he told me, that I'm not going to get into it right now because it'll be a long, extended conversation. But some of the things he told me made so much sense. There was no reason for me not to listen and take that kind of advice because it was great advice.
I want to get to a caller real quick.
Okay.
And then Bob is coming in and out. First off, Mike Holt said, "Where the hell is Brooklyn Bob? He's here." So that's one. That's one.
Hey.
No, I saw it. I was.
And caller, please state your name and your purpose for calling real quick.
Hi, Shanice Coleman.
Hey, Shanice Coleman, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Do you have a comment for our guest real quick?
Yes, I want to ask Councilman Wallace this question. Couldn't, instead of going around getting signatures, couldn't the city council just put this in legislation this way you have to go through that process?
Of course. But I like Chris said, you got to get 3-4 votes. You got to get some people on your side, and I just don't have nobody on my side. None of the other council people are for it. They don't believe what I believe, that it should be in the hands of the people to make that decision, and for the people that we work for, and therefore they would not let it come out of committee, which is I need a second vote to get in.
So you were the only city council person that wanted this to go through.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to take it to the streets and all. And the funniest thing about it, the only other elected official I could get to agree with me was Mayor Thomas. So everybody laughed at him, but he's on my side with this.
I need you.
That only confirms the old adage: politics make strange bedfellows.
And it's fair.
I got one last question for you, Shanice, and then I got to move on. Go ahead.
Okay. I also, when I seen Mayor Thomas, I asked him about the term limits, and he said he was in total agreement of it. So you are correct, Councilman Wallace.
Yeah, well,
now how many years each
Thank you
term?
for calling, Shanice.
4 years.
Okay, thank you.
So it's pretty
Bye-bye.
much consistent with county legislator because you're going to be up there for
12
12 years maximum.
And I want to get into Bob, who's just walking in and out real quick. I think did you have a comment or two you wanted to make?
Firstly, I wanted to say good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
All the
Good
panelists.
evening.
I was, or rather, good evening, thank you. I'm a little tired. I was actually doing some yard work with my son. He's outside. I'm here to take him back home. I wasn't listening to the show, but I did notice some posts that were made earlier, and it seemed that a caller had called in and I guess questioned the integrity and motivations of many of the co-hosts of the show. I don't know if I was included in that. I don't want to make any comments without.
It had to do with last week's show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We moved past that. We'll deal with that a little later. I have something to say in my closing about a Facebook post, but that'll be for my closing though.
Well, about a Facebook post.
Yeah, that other somebody running for office said about everybody. Well, me, Lorraine, and some couple other people.
What? They didn't include me?
No, you weren't included in this one.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
I just
But
want
we
to.
could add you to the mix, you know.
It's always on my fault.
We're
I'm always
corrupt.
in
We're
it.
corrupt.
Misery
We put out
loves
false
company.
news.
We'll add you.
Right.
Oh yeah, and the Yonkers voice too. It was included.
You know, I do want to say that this is part of a larger trend that we see, especially most visibly at the national level, where elected officials are calling into question the veracity and the motivations of news reporters. And
the fourth estate of government.
that's right. So important is the news in the American system of democracy that protections are enshrined in the very First Amendment to the Bill of Rights, freedom of the press. That's because the founders of this country recognized from their own experiences that without a viable, vibrant press to keep office holders accountable, democracy really doesn't exist. And I think it is unfortunate, and it shows just how far people have drifted from the true spirit of democracy, that elected officials and other appointed officials continue to make these kind of attacks without really addressing many of the principles that are and issues that are raised. I know last night I was on Facebook and someone named John Ball, I don't know who that is.
You know
I
who
can
that
well
is.
imagine.
He friend requested
You know who
me.
that is. He had about 5 different names already.
Right.
You know, he keeps coming back.
Try to tarnish my reputation as a principal critic of the current administration by threatening to spread, it's not even rumors, trying to remind the public in the city of Mount Vernon of, an earlier chapter of my personal biography when I did run the streets of Mount Vernon. I want to be very clear to everyone that I have not always been Dr. Baskerville, and I have nothing to hide. I am a 2-time convicted felon for felony drug possession charges, and was part of the wave of young brothers who took to the streets of Mount Vernon and so many other cities across the United States when the Reagan administration took over and began to institute its
So just being on this
counter-revolution.
show could be your third strike, huh?
Yeah. If some people have their way, for sure. But listen, I think all of us, we know that this is an almost thankless job. There's really no financial compensation to speak of in doing the work of the public, and yet we continue to do it because we think that we're operating in the best interest of the public. We're not infallible. We're not perfect. There are plenty of times when we do make mistakes, and if we're honest, we have to own up to those. But I don't think it's fair to really call into question people's integrity. Just as, and I'll just close out by saying this, just as when I was a volunteer supporter of Mayor Thomas, I did it because I thought it was going to be in the best interest of the city of Mount Vernon, the people of Mount Vernon, although I must admit that I was wrong and am very disappointed in the actions that the Thomas administration has taken since Mayor Thomas was elected. My presence on this radio show and all the other things I do as a public advocate in Westchester County is a continuation of that mission, and I think that's true for all of us who sit around the table.
And I just want to say before you leave too, it's amazing how those in the Thomas administration applauded us for our critique of the Davis administration when he was in office, and now that they're in office, it's like what? Just because the player changed, the game's supposed to change too?
Mm-hmm.
No, now you're the mayor. You understand what I'm saying? You're the head honcho. You are the CEO of the city, as you remind us.
We're not loyal to people. We're loyal to principles.
While everything good that happens, whether you had anything to do with it or not, you will get credit for. Everything bad that happens, whether you have anything to do with it or not,
You get the blame for
you
it.
get the blame for it. And we need one of them buck stop here. You know what I'm saying? Leaders, not like it's their fault. No, it's their fault. No.
Right.
Well, he hit me first. Well, he's touching me. You know, we don't need one of those kind of administrators. That's all I have to say.
I mean, I agree with you so much. The Thomas administration has made a number of severe missteps during the year and a half that the mayor's been in office, and the mayor has to take responsibility. For example, the guy who was just, the building inspector who had been convicted of fraudulent activities in another city. Now he comes over.
Okay, but
Come on.
did the mayor hire him, or did the mayor hire a company and the company hired this guy?
Irrespective of, the mayor has a responsibility, the administration has a responsibility to vet any employees of the city or anyone who is hired out to contract services on the city's behalf. It really doesn't matter. It's a similar kind of obligation, and it's a cop-out for the mayor or any of his supporters, defenders, to say somehow or the other, he had nothing to do with this.
I really didn't read the stories, but one day a story came up, such and such and such, and he's this person, and he's that person, and they hired him, and then the next day or 2 days later, it was like, well, he's no longer here. And it was just like, I was like, damn.
Which, I mean, the mayor is to get credit for that.
But again, that's the news. Sean Patterson Howard said the news and the people must continue to lift up their voices to demand truth, transparency, and integrity. Truth doesn't have to scream, but it does have to challenge the lies that are being swallowed by those who are too busy dealing with their everyday challenges to pull back the onion and see the layers of lies and the superficiality that is being fed to us with a pretty spoon.
Go ahead, girl.
And
She's so eloquent.
And Hector Santiago, I guess commenting to an early comment, he said it's all about growth and transition makes us identifiable to the new youth. And I think he was dealing when you were talking about your youth.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, Sean, I saw your mama outside in front of the supermarket today. When I was doing petitions, actually, she took a sheet from me. She may be getting some signatures for me. So, just to let you know.
Goodbye, everyone. I got to run.
Thanks for coming, man.
Sorry for the side.
I'm
sorry
sorry
for the side conversation.
Good to see everyone.
Yeah, me
I'm conducting the orchestra here.
All right, Bobby B.
Yes,
Brooklyn Bob in the place. Yes.
Absolutely.
Tell CJ to come in. Go ahead.
CJ got a couple of people, so let me step out
Well,
so
just
that he can
let-
bring somebody else in.
Okay, well, I know he wanted to talk. I don't know if everybody else wanted to talk.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's a team. The hometown heroes, right?
Does anybody else want to
what's
come
up.
on in? She wants to come on in. Come on in.
Uh-oh.
Hey, that's my friend. Hey, how you doing?
What's your stage name?
My stage name is Life.
Life.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Come on.
Facebook pop. She giving life, y'all.
So, real quick, we're switching gears again. We got a lot of moving
Can I
parts.
do the intro?
Oh, yeah,
Watch it.
absolutely.
Watch this.
Oh, he got a second job, night city
yeah.
council.
Well, no,
You're the host.
you take the politics into it. So
Okay.
I'm just taking another shot to just talk because that's what politicians do. So when you're doing your job and you're doing it well, you meet people in the community, people who are doing their thing, people who are trying to take the next step up. people who are trying to move and shake and really change and transform what's happening in your city. And the best part about it is when it's people who born and raised, who are from the streets, that they want to change, who understand what's going on in the community, want to be part of it, and want to see it grow. And there's no better name for that than Hometown Heroes. And that's who we have here in the person of Life and CJ and Gone. So take it away.
What's good, y'all?
What's good? Welcome back to the show.
Yes.
That was good.
I was on this show before. I've been to the station like 5 times.
Yeah. You all came for my anniversary.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then
we did.
And then your boy kicked the plug by mistake.
And then the whole thing shut down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to cause any trouble
We
today.
finished with a bang. Yeah.
So what's up, man?
What's good? So y'all got a party coming. You got this event coming up at the Yonkers River.
Oh, not a party.
Oh.
So we have the third Hometown Heroes concert.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is our third one.
What were the first two?
The first two were also in the Riverfront Library Auditorium back in 2013, and then 2015, and then now we back again 2 years later.
Okay. I need those in the hallway. I need to close that door real quick. I can hear you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank Ms. Howard for this opportunity.
You're right, because everybody doesn't know, so I'm doing the show. I'm working like 3-4 screens. I got a bunch of things going on. And bing, Sean Pascal was like, CJ wants to come up. Can he come up to talk about the event? It's Tuesday. So I'm like, yeah, okay, 7:30, whatever, bang. So that's how all that happened for us.
Word. Well, it actually spurned from like, I had put up a video on Facebook. So Chris Johnson knows, and actually Councilman Wallace is very familiar with me as well, because I spent a year out in Mount Vernon doing a lot of music work in Mount Vernon as well. There's a lot that I'm trying to do with the Hometown Heroes brand and the 4 Square Peace Project. That still has a lot of developing ideas going on.
How's that going?
Yeah.
Last time everything we talked about was that.
Word. So, like, for me, it kind of troubled me, right? So this concert that we're doing this year, we booked 2 major celebrities. We booked Don Q and Mano. Most of the younger generation knows who Don Q is.
Right.
Everybody's a big Don Q fan, and Mano, of course, was just in a Tupac movie and has a couple of hot records.
So real quick, I told I used to rap way back in the day.
Right.
That was way
sampled
back.
my joint.
Mano sampled your joint.
Yeah.
I work in his studio in Soho, so I tell him like, yo,
So it's like he was playing because
joint.
people was like, yo, your joint, and I'm like, what? And it was like,
which one was
Rest
that?
in Peace or something like that, or I gotta look up the title though. I think something like Rest in Peace or
send it to me. I'll be like, yo, this is my man's like.
Yeah, so that was back in '88 though. So he I was just like, but what it did though, literally, it was getting a lot of play on flexing them, and then some of the DJs, and then they played ours. You know what I'm saying? So like, know what I'm saying? Then they start cutting ours, which they hadn't done in a while. So you know what I'm saying? Which is really cool.
So big up to Mano.
Big up to Mano.
The residual coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we booked both of them because they both stand on the whole Hometown Heroes principle, like coming from the streets in their hometown and putting their hometowns on an industry scale where like a lot of people in their hometowns can now get opportunities in the entertainment industry. So that's why I wanted to work with them, and the spirit kind of just led me to working with them through different connections, affiliates, and people. So the way we got here today was because I posted a video on Facebook of something that was like bothering me a little bit, which was that over the last 4 or 5 years of my career of doing the Hometown Heroes brand, I always have like politicians that want to like come out and work with me, like, oh, like I see that the youth comes out heavy to all your events and you know what I'm saying, so let's do something together, and I'm always for the people, you know what I'm saying. So when I get approached with those things, I try to see how it can benefit the youth and stuff like that, and it just kind of surprised me that this time around, like after the 4 Square Peace Project, there was a little bit of like messiness, and I learned a lot more about politics, and I learned that it just wasn't for me per se. Like it's just I'm an entertainer at the core, I'm an artist at the core, and I love to benefit my community, but I have to do so in my own lane. So over the last year, we kind of just zoned in back onto the company Hometown Heroes and pushing out the music and the events and stuff like that. So it was just strange to me that this time around we just kept it just us and put out this concert, and like there was no political involvement and nobody like, you know, tried to reach out and help us with this thing. So I posted a video saying like, yo, I mean, I know the concert's coming up soon, but if there's any politicians out there that get this message to support it, there's some friends of mine from college that were from out of state, and they sparked this idea where they just thought it was so dope that I was bringing this to the hometown, because Yonkers never gets anything like this, anything of this caliber. You know what I'm saying? Where the kids are so excited to see these people and the level of concert that we're bringing on 914 soil. Like they haven't got anything. I rented like a $2,000 like AV system. Like the whole library is gonna be like. The auditorium is going to be revamped to really feel like a concert setting, and it's going to blow people away. So I know a lot of young people from Yonkers may have never experienced something like that in their life if they haven't traveled outside to go see a concert, but they've definitely not experienced it here on 914 soil. So the friends out of state were like buying tickets and like, yo, I can't come, but I buy a ticket, just give it away to a teen in the city. So I ran a little like games and stuff like that on Facebook to give away the tickets and whatnot. And then I was just like, yo, why are my friends from college doing this and not the politicians that were like, you know, like trying to work with me so heavy? Like, I feel like if anything, they should be sponsoring to send young kids to come see this magnificent event.
I want to deal with just very shortly too.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the lesson learned as a young person
Mm-hmm.
is you see those who are still involved, and you see those who came and left. Right. Those are people that were there for political reasons, because they were running campaigns, right, or they were trying to get elected, or they needed positive press, and then they moved on. We don't have to say no names.
And you know what's beautiful about this, though?
And you have those who are still with you. Then you know who, and it was with you from the beginning. Now you know who.
And you know what's beautiful about this too is that the two gentlemen that are sitting with me here are people that are on the right side of the fence, as far as like they've always continued to support. And regardless, like I shoot, me and Chris shoot text back and forth all the time. Like I could text Councilman Wallace's phone anytime. Like they continue to support even after like anything that I've done. We just continue to keep contact and see what's up. Chris, even the thing that he's doing in the summer right now with the campaigns, like he did that with me like 2 or 3 summers ago, where I just got me and a gang of my friends, and he just gave us jobs for the summer. Like
trying to hire Alec.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know you got the show coming up. You're busy.
Sean Patterson Howard said, "I'm not a politician, but I am supporting HTH, and we'll be there for the concert. We need people to sponsor tickets for the youth. Hit me up if you want to be a sponsor for a young person."
That's a fact. So it's just like,
all right, how much are the tickets?
The tickets are $35.
$35? Can I get half a kid?
That's
but get the little one.
In all actuality, that's like mincemeat to the level of concert this is to what people pay to go see concerts.
Yo, I took my wife, shout out to the wife, to see a Nicki concert.
How much did you spend on that Nicki concert?
Yo, I don't even. Yo, I mean, it hurt.
You have to reevaluate your.
We could touch the ceiling. We was touching. We was raising the roof. The ceiling.
Right, you were in the nosebleeds.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because we were sitting there.
Here,
somebody said, "Andre, buy 10."
You know what? I am gonna buy 10. I'm buying 10 tickets, and you're gonna give them away to some kids.
And I'm gonna give them away
because
to kids.
With what you just said too, I
gotta buy 11. I bought some. You gotta be there too.
I get it free. I got who gonna be carrying the speakers and the records in, man?
All right, that's what's up.
But anyway, going off of what Chris said, it's like the auditorium only holds like 500 people, so we're giving you an awesome real life concert experience that you feel like you're up in front. You're not in the nosebleeds. You're only paying $35 to come see it, and I feel like every kid in Yonkers deserves to see this, man, because it. Not only is it dope and it's fun, but it's also something for the young people in Yonkers to believe in. Like, yo, this kid, I've been outside with this kid, and he's doing this. So we can, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just motivational. There's a lot of people that don't feel like there's any way to go or don't really know what to do with life per se sometimes. And I ran into those roadblocks as a young teenager too. So I think this is very important for the teens and the young people of Yonkers to have.
I feel like this is important for teens of all from all urban walks of life in New York City and in the New York State, because we have performers coming out from Mount Vernon and the Bronx and Brooklyn and all types of stuff like that are coming to perform at this concert, and I feel like this is important for all urban kids because we don't always get those perks that other people who come from other walks of life get. And you know, especially of this caliber, like CJ said, to play on what he said, like I spent like for what Summer Jam, like it was
we spent like $200 a pop, and we was up in the we was talking to Jesus, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
did he enjoy Summer Jam? No. well, it's worth it because I bought some Chris Rock tickets for Madison Square Garden coming up. And that cost me like $700.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, look at
for 2 tickets.
Look at what you getting to come to the hometown.
So you get. So I think we could do 10 tickets for
Get
like $350. That's no problem.
Sean,
hook up with me. I'm make sure you get that check. So this way she could do that.
And I guarantee, I'm not gonna say any names or anything like that. But working around politicians, I've seen what some of the budget sheets are like. You know what I'm saying? Like last year during the whole Peace Project run, like I found out there was a $2 million arts and development budget that was cleared, and it's like, if this is not arts and development, then what is it? You know what I'm saying? Where is that going? If you know what I'm saying? Like what are you developing in the arts? Like this is of the young people doing art for young people. Like you know what I'm saying?
I want to say something. You know, and I don't want to harp on it. But I know that you mentioned the difficulties of, you know, maybe all the personalities and stuff with the last project or whatever. And I asked you that. I said, how was you? One of the questions I asked when I interviewed y'all, how did you handle all the multiple personalities and the moving parts of that project? You know what I'm saying? And,
right.
You know, I guess, you know, it became a bit much and you decided to do something else.
Not at all, because the Peace Project is still there, and this concert is phase 1 in going forward in a whole new light where the young people kind of stick together and do things independently and you know what I'm saying, with guidance, of course, versus trying to like be one-on-one with the politicians. Mm-hmm. Let's work together ourselves and show that we're responsible and can develop things on this scale. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, the get the guidance from the adults during the process. But I do believe that it's high time that the young people take a big chunk of responsibility.
Say that
now.
again.
I do believe that it's time the young people take a big chunk of responsibility. The key word is responsibility.
One more time.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we next. You know what I'm saying?
We now.
Well, you know what?
Now.
You know what? And I always say that, and I'm about to give
hashtag
everybody last words after this. I'm about to say, you know, we do all these things, and we go to all these things about what the youth need. We do all these things are supposed to be for youth, but we never ask the youth. Like we do all these things for the youth without the youth being involved, and usually miss the mark. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of older people will see. All right, so Mano people are more familiar with. That's cool and all. You know what I'm saying? But Don Q, a lot of older people don't know who Don Q is. Right. But the young people are going crazy right now. The buzz in our city is crazy right now because you got to keep your ear to the streets and hear what people really want. Just like what
I thought that was liquor.
Said.
But go ahead.
Nah, that's an artist. I think they have a liquor like that too. But going off of what you said before, as far as keeping your ear to the streets, going knocking on doors yourself, you understand what I'm saying? Like I don't act Hollywood at all. Like I talk to everybody that supports me, that is a fan or a supporter. Like I have conversations on a day-to-day basis with everybody. People get mad that I don't put my phone down when like I'm at dinners or like I need to be a little more safer on the road because I still be like at every light just click click click. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking to so many people and just trying to connect and understand what the people want.
DJ Cranberry will be there?
Absolutely. DJ Cranberry is actually Don's DJ.
He used to be on the show before this.
Right.
There used to be a show, Epic Certified Epic Sundays.
Right.
That came on before us, and Cranberry and was one, and Mighty were the two main DJs. They had others came through.
Shout out my high school boys, man. They doing major things right now.
I saw Cranberry about a month ago, you know, because I was talking to him, and you guys got to get ready. RapperCon, DJ Con is coming next month. So
it's coming. You guys doing it again?
The 26th, and not only that, we got the
ahead.
Battle of the Systems.
Go ahead and announce that.
Because there's going to be...
That's your last comment. Go ahead and announce when that's going to be and anything else you want to do.
It's going to be August 26th in the same spot. And this year we just added some other elements because now they just want to do DJ of the... It's going to be like a battle system thing going on because the guys on the left said that they're gonna reach to Bronx with the sound, and the guys on the right of the street said they're gonna reach White Plains.
Sound class, yeah,
But when you got to see these systems are going up about 2-story high and all kind of. It's gonna be incredible. And we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be bigger than last year.
Stage this time. We're gonna do it from the street.
Yes, stage.
Okay.
I like
it from the street.
I like the street thing.
I did like that.
Old school. That's how I grew up with. You know, back in 118 Echo Park, all those places. You know,
for journalists trying to get good footage.
Right.
To go over people. And stuff. People was walking past my camera, but other than that.
But we may have 2 stages. One on the left side, one on one side of the block, one on the other side, and we're gonna be. You know, the rappers this time is gonna be able to battle, and the DJs are going to be able to battle from each stage. So that side.
I will absolutely.
That's what's up.
Absolutely.
Anthony Old School Mitchell, to all y'all said what's good from North Carolina. Andre, what's good?
Hey,
AJ,
Old School.
What's good? Yeah. So, last words.
Just support the youth and help them grow. Like, we have to help them. We can't just say we're going to do something and just not do it. Keep to your word.
Now with you, how can people get in touch with you? Website, anything, all that stuff.
All that stuff. So first, hit me up on the website, johnsonforwestchester.com. Hit me up on Facebook. I got a like page, or you could talk to me on my regular page. Christopher Johnson's the name. Hit me up on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Snapchat.
Social media heavy.
HON Chris Johnson, HON Chris Johnson. All 3 of them. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and just
Snapchat. He's heavy.
Catch me in the streets. You know, we out here. We talking to young people. We talking to seniors. We talking to people who want to make sure that Yonkers and Westchester County reflect them and gets better and is really dealing with the issues that they care about. So we'll be there supporting hometown heroes. We'll be there supporting nonprofits. We'll be there supporting the churches. We'll be there supporting you at your door, in the building, in City Hall, in White Plains. That's what this is about.
Last words.
And for my final words, Tuesday, July 25th, this Tuesday, Hometown Heroes 3 concert. Mano, Don Q, a whole bunch of independent artists. The Hometown Heroes label is in the building, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The tickets are only $35. There's an online ticket link, and we're also doing ticket pickups. Any adults listening, this is something that you need to get behind, that every kid from here to the Bronx to Mount Vernon to Brooklyn needs to see this summer. So support it, sponsor it, and get in contact with me on IG at YUNGCJP. That's at YUNGCJP. And on Facebook, you could go to Hometown Heroes, the Facebook page. Hometown Heroes. Heroes is spelled HEROES. No, the page is Hometown Heroes. Yeah, Hometown Heroes ACH. Go on Facebook and find out everything about us. Find out about what's going on and get in contact with us, man. We trying to do something major. Young people.
No doubt. I'm about to clear the screen for Christopher Johnson's benefit because I got a couple of words to say. So you can either leave now or I'm about to.
I'm here as long as you got me.
Okay.
We talking about all the issues important.
I'm about to take you off the screen though, because basically, we were dealing with the beginning of the show with the candidate in Yonkers, London Rayos. I talked to him personally, but I still think that was a punk smooth move of you calling me out on Facebook without talking to me. You know what I'm saying? You called me out. You tried to call me in Yonkers' voice, and Lorraine, my co-host, talked about corruption, alternative news, fake news, all of that, and then, you talked to me on the phone, and everything's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, this goes for anybody. And we've been here 3 years, 3-year anniversary. I got a problem with anybody who has my phone number, who knows how to get in touch with me, and tries to call me out on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? If you got something to say about us, I'm not always right. I'm absolutely not always right. I damn sure don't know it all. But you know what I'm saying? If you got a problem with us, you come see us. You come speak to us like men. You know what I'm saying? So even though we try to clear up, and I got the whole clear up thing about you making your appearance and stuff, that Facebook stuff, y'all don't play that. So you know what I'm saying? We don't want to see no more of that. And that's really all I got to say on the topic. I just read the screenshot. I think that was kind of whack, and that's that. I said I would address it, and I'm addressing it. All right, so now I can put Chris back on the screen. because I wanted to make sure that you was not in.
Not involved in that.
You was just not involved. That was
in
Yonkers.
16th legislative district.
So in closing, everybody look out for as we kept saying, this is our 3rd anniversary of the radio show. The beginning of August, the 3rd anniversary of Black Westchester, July 15th. And in celebrating for the 3rd anniversary, we are releasing the first print edition of Black Westchester, August 2017. Working hard on that right now, covering the county. You'll find main copies in Yonkers, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Greenburgh, White Plains, Peekskill, and wherever else it trickles to. But that's where it's going to be. So, anybody want to advertise with BW, advertise with BW@gmail.com. Anybody want to hold us down, make any donations or whatever, but look out for that. Our premiere issue is coming out. With that said, I thank everybody who held us down, everybody who's tuned in. You could be doing anything else right now, but you decided to ride with us, and we greatly appreciate it. This is Black Westchester Presents People Before Politics Radio every Sunday 6 to 8 on InTheMixRadio.com. Peace.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has the